All right, so the problem that we have here is number 3. If you notice, my problem is slightly different from yours, but the idea is going to be the same. Okay, so remember, before I do any graphing, what I really want to do is I want to get my equation in the form y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to look at this equation here. X plus y equals 9. Okay, if I want to write it in this form here, I'm going to have to take my x term, I'm going to have to bring it to the other side. So I'm going to be left with y. I'm going to leave that alone. Right now, if you notice, this x is a positive x. So when I cross the equal sign, it's going to become a negative x and then plus 9. All I'm going to do now is do a little stare and compare. So remember, my m is the number that's in front of the x. Well, the number in front of the x right now is a negative 1. I'm going to think about it a fraction, because we want to think about the rise over the run. So a negative 1 over a positive 1. And then my y-intercept 0 and b will, in this case, be the point 0 and 9, right? Okay. I'm going to do the same thing for the second equation. So if you notice the second equation here, y equals mx plus b. Our equation right now is x minus y equals a negative 1. Okay. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take my x term, I'm going to bring it over. So I'm going to be left with a negative y. Remember, I'm taking that x and I'm moving over, so now it's going to become a negative x minus 1. But because I'm trying to solve for the letter y, right now I have a negative 1 in front of my y. So I'm going to divide everything here by negative 1 all the way across. So that's going to give me a positive y. A negative divided by another negative is a positive x. A negative 1 divided by another negative 1 is a positive 1, right? Okay, so now let me see if I can do this. We come back to my problem. Here we go. Okay, so let's take a look. I want to graph both these equations. So I want to graph this equation here, and I want to graph that equation there. So for this one, my m is 1 over 1, and my y-intercept is 0, 1. So I'm going to come back to my graph here. Let's enlarge it. And let me get my line. So I'm going to go 0, 1. There's my 0, 1. And because my slope is 1 over 1, I'm going to move up 1 to the right. Okay. Now, let me take a look at my second line. Here's my second line. So my y-intercept is 0, 9. That's going to be my starting point. So I'm going to come back over here, 0, 9 right there, and my slope is a negative 1 over a positive 1, so I'm going to go down 1 and over 1, boom, right there. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to check my answer, get nice, and now it's asking me what's the solution. So let me zoom in again, and I know the solution looks like here. In my case, it is 4, 5. So I'm going to put parentheses, 4, 5, close that up. I'll check my answer, and I'm done, right? Okay, so that's pretty much how I do it, okay?